Tonight, the sick and the injured forced to resort to self-medication as doctors' strike begin to take a devastating toll on patients.
I was here around 6:20 and they say they are not working. The doctors are not around, but the nurses are there. So I've decided to go home. Now I'm going to buy the medicines that I'm in need of so that I'll use it till they come back.
We bring you the very latest from the behind-the-scenes moves to get the doctors back to work.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection, as well as Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all. Lives are at stake, but the doctors will not budge, compelling some patients to resort to self-medication. That is a story in most public hospitals across the country as a nationwide strike by doctors and pharmacists begin to take a devastating toll. Patients are being turned away, and nurses in some of the hospitals are beginning to feel the pressure as they are confronted by angry patients. Principal Nursing Officer at the Ridge Hospital, Madam Alice Opoku, captures the difficulty.
Because we are nurses, you see, and we are not on strike. The doctors are on strike. But this morning when I came, I asked them, and they said they are going to see emergency cases. But as for the core cases, they won't see. But the problem is, I don't want to announce it today. Our patients that we are not working. Because when I do that, I've committed myself because I'm not a doctor, I'm a nurse. So I'm expecting them to come out and then announce it to them that they are not going to see the core cases. They want to see the emergencies only. We are doing our work. Like here, we have 2 tables here. The first table where we check our temperature and our weight, and then the nurses will move the folders to the second table where their BPs are checked. Then after that, you can see they are waiting. So I'm expecting the doctors to come out and tell them that this is what we have decided to do.
Imagine it is the patients who actually bear the brunt when doctors lay down their tools. Some have been speaking to Joy News.
Granddaughter. She was admitted here on the 22nd, and the doctor said we should come on the 1st, but on the 1st was holiday. That is last week, Monday. And we learned your place only on Mondays. So Monday when we came, we go back to Amasama, and we asked to report this morning with the folders and the X-ray and all these things. This is what I'm holding. Since we came in the morning, we have collected our card. Now we reach where they will take our BP and everything. They pile up their cards.
But haven't you been attended to?
No.
I've seen nurses around. Why are they not attending to you?
No. The consultant, they lock all the consultants.
What about you? Have you been attended to?
No, I was asked to come with my card. 86 years. And the doctor asked me to come and see him. I did lab, ECG, and then X-ray. And I'm holding all my folders and everything. So I'm just relaxing small before I go home.
Did you try approaching any doctor and you were told that?
You can't see them. And the nurses too, they don't want to disclose why they are not around.
Well, in the Ashanti region, we understand some patients who were turned away today have chosen to resort to self-medication. We can now speak to Erastus Asare Donko live from the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital. Thank you, Erastus. From what I understand, patients at that particular hospital are taking matters into their own hands. Okay, I understand the line just dropped there. He will join us shortly and give us what he's found as far as that hospital is concerned. We'll also go and speak to the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, essentially understanding what has happened since morning when he first called the strike. Also speaking to the Information Minister about what has been happening behind the scenes to get the doctors back to work. We understand that the President had called on them to rescind their decision to indeed embark on this particular strike. And if you pay attention to what the doctors have said so far, this week is just a beginning of, the storm, if you may. It's the quiet before the huge storm next week when they will withdraw all services if nothing is done about the grievances that they've put before government, and the grievances essentially have to do with market premiums that they claim have not been paid. The schedule that was announced last week, as far as the payment of those premiums are concerned, they believe did not meet their expectations, and for which reason they've embarked on this industrial action. We can now speak to the General Secretary of the GMA, who is joining us. But before I do that, I want to establish the situation at the Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital, because Erastus has just joined us on the telephone line. Erastus, thank you very much. I wanted to understand earlier, these reports we're receiving from the Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital, the patients turned away there are beginning to take matters into their own hands.
Evans, as at 3:30 p.m., the outpatients department had started to get deserted. Patients who had waited for a long time and were getting frustrated had to leave. And so it's turning into a cemetery now. Now, some of the patients who could not see doctors are saying that they're going to sleep here at the OPD. One woman from WA is sleeping here, she has confirmed to me. But one man also told Love News that he's going to self-medicate until the pharmacies are opened and he could get pharmaceutical assistance.
Around 6:20, and they say they are not working. The doctors are not around, but the nurses are there. Oh, I think they are doing their job, and we can't force them to come and do the job unless their salaries are given to them. So I've decided to go home. No, I'm going to buy the medicines that I'm in need of, so that I'll use it till they come back.
My father is a diabetic patient. I brought him here since morning. Since we came here, we haven't seen any doctor here, and the nurses, they are roaming about. I'll just go back to my house.
Okay, there's this mention there about nurses. Erastus, how are the nurses dealing with the pressure?
Well, the nurses here, there is a fact that most of the nurses perform other practical duties when the doctors are around, and they take most of the cases under supervision from the doctors. But with the doctors not around, they fear to take up these duties and services. And so they have also left. And if you come here, most of the nurses left like 3 p.m., they were gone because these doctors are not available. They are afraid to take risks and conduct certain services that they normally do when the doctors are around.
And essentially, the patients have been left to their own fate. You've also been speaking to some of the doctors there. What have been telling you?
Well, most of the doctors I called on phone told me they are not coming around here. They are sticking to the plan of the Ghana Medical Association, and until their grievances are resolved, they are not making any turn up here. But there are some doctors who are working normally as they promised at the Accident and Emergency Center, and so at the A&E of the Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital is work as usual.
Thank you very much, Erastus Asare Donko. They're reporting live from the Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital. We can now speak to the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Frank Serebour. Thank you very much, Dr. Serebour, for your time here on Top Story. Since you're now to strike today, have there been any movements that we don't know of to resolve your grievance?
As far as I'm aware, there has been no movement. I just spoke to the president when I got your call that you were going to talk to me whether there have been any movement, and he did inform me that we have not had any movement from any causes to try to address the issues as of now.
Are you expecting anything to happen this week? Because from what you've said, this week is just the preliminary strike leading to a more severe one next week.
Exactly. I mean, we believe that we are given a window of opportunity for the Federal Salaries Commission, and for that matter, government, to engage us to ensure that we bring this to a speedy conclusion this week. That is the reason why we are doing only outpatient departments. It's only outpatient department that we are not attending to. We all went to the ward today. We are still seeing emergencies, and we are seeing our inpatients. But the issue is that from next week, as you are aware, if we don't really get any conclusions to this matter, we would be suspending emergency services. And you will see that the absence in emergency units, as it also reported, that they are working will be closed down from next week because we won't be there to do emergencies. We don't want it to get to that level anyway. That is the reason why we are still giving this kind of window of opportunity. The matter as it is, you know the matter already is clear, and we believe that even though we have a lot of timetable that have been put out there in terms of May, July, September, it still does not address all the arrears. What happens in January, February, March? What happens going forward in 2013? What happens to our pensions? The conversion difference. Those are the issues, and they are not big issues that we feel cannot be resolved. They should be resolved. so that we can all go back to work. And then we pray and hope that it never happens again. But as of now, there has not been any movement, and we are waiting. We are ready to engage and hopefully get solutions to these problems. But we want the issues resolved as quickly as possible.
From the reports we just received from the Komfo Teaching Hospital, it appears to me that some of your members basically have deserted the hospital, but that's not the plan, is it?
Well, if you speak to Erastus, you realize that he was at the OPD. As for the outpatient department, yes, we have left the outpatient department. But if you go to the wards right now, there are doctors on the ward attending to inpatients. I just came from the hospital a few minutes ago. I've been there since morning, attending to my patients on the wards. So, I mean, we are still on the wards doing our duties. Somebody has taken over from me, and that is the reason why I'm here. I'm in the house now. And so it's something that we are doing. We are still doing the inpatients as we promised. We are still doing the emergencies as we promised. And so we are still in the hospital, and we are doing our work. But the issue is that we have decided not to do outpatient clinics. And so if you listen to Erastus, he did indicate to you that after the emergency is business as usual, because that is where the emergencies come. So we are doing what we can do at this moment.
Now, speaking to sources at both the Labour Commission, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, there's a clear view from them that the strike you've embarked on now is absolutely illegal because you're one of those classified as essential service. You're not allowed to embark on strikes like this.
Exactly. I mean, that is the point. The point is that we only hear when we are essential service, when we go on strike. The issue is that when issues come that affect the health sector, the Labour Act plays exactly.
Hello? Hello? Okay, we appear to have lost Dr. Serbo on the line there. We'll try and get him back for him to answer that pretty vital question, because as far as the Labour Commission, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission are concerned, and from what our sources tell us, they view this as an entirely illegal strike that the doctors have called. And so the doctors will have to answer, why are they breaking the law? Some may say to serve their own interests. Is that a fair question to ask anyway? He will join us again and put that question to him and try and get some answers from him. We're hoping to speak to the Information Minister, Mahama Yarega, from government's point of view. When are they going to reach out to solve this particular crisis that has befallen the health sector? Dr. Serbo just joined us again. You were answering a question about the illegality of the strike.
The issue is that the only time we hear health is an essential service and that the service that we provide is essential, it's only when we go on strike, and then somebody come and tell us our strike is illegal. But these issues have been around for a long time. I'm sure you are aware that even after February, we did do a 2-day partial withdrawal of services, and then somehow we're engaged. If the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and Padabasa Labour Commission finds our work to be essential, if they find our work to be essential, I don't expect that they should come out with a timetable that only look at 2012 without looking at what happens going forward.
That's noted. That's noted, though. But do you admit that the strike you're on now is illegal?
It's not. As far as we are concerned, it's not illegal. If there is any illegality, the first who committed illegality was Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. If you read the decision that was given by the Labour Commission itself on the 12th of February 2013, they said that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission erred when it unilaterally proceeded to violate the terms of the November 4th 2011 award, and for that matter, the police officer of the EMA. So who erred first? It's the Fair Wages. So if there is anybody who has broken the law, it is Fair Wages, not Ghana Medical Association.
I'm sure you've heard the phrase that 2 wrongs don't make it right. If they've broken the law, use the law to rectify it. Don't break it in trying to exact your pound of flesh.
So who is supposed to go to court? The National Labour Commission is supposed to go to court to enforce their ruling. They were supposed to take Fair Wages to court. Did they take Fair Wages to court? They didn't. They didn't take Fair Wages to court.
Okay.
We cannot take Fair Wages to court on behalf of the National Labour Commission. They are supposed to do that. So, you see, when life is involved, yes, the life of the doctor is also involved here. Is the life of the doctor essential? Is it yes or no? Because his money is the bottom line of everything. And it's important that we also move forward.
Dr. Serbo, we've not heard the last of this, definitely. We'll hear from you again in the coming days. But thank you very much for joining us here on Top Story. That's Dr. Serbo there. You want to join us again in 15 minutes on Newsnight, because you understand there's under looming crisis this time in the judiciary when it comes to strikes as well, because the judicial service, as far as the workers they are concerned, they met today, and our sources confirmed to us that there's a decision that they've been taking to also join the nationwide strike by their colleagues as far as the doctors are concerned, the pharmacists are concerned as well. We'll get into that on Newsnight and get details. Why are they taking that decision as well, and its implications on the judicial system and in many cases that is being that will be called before the various courts. You want to join us in 15 minutes on Radio Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah. This has been Top Stories, brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belaka Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection, and Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all.